Okay, now let us concentrate on the next sex hormone, that is the progesterone. Okay, so now in the previous class we have seen the different sex hormones like the estrogen, testosterone, as well as the progesterone. I think in the last lecture we have ended with the progesterone. In today's lecture I am going to cover the structure activity relationship study of the progesterone. Along with that, I'm going to try to cover the oral contraceptives, because the logic behind this thing is that the progesterones and the oral contraceptives, they are having the structural similarity, so that the topic could be get connected after the completion of progesterone, isn't it? Okay, so now let us move ahead with the today's discussion. Okay, so now let us discuss the progesterones. I am just scrolling down the presentation from where we have ended the last topic, isn't it? So we have seen the classification of progesterone, isn't it? So different derivatives that we have seen. So chemically what we can say, the progesterones, we can divide them like 17 alpha hydroxyprogesterones, as well as some are the 19 nor testosterone, isn't it? So by observing the structure, we can say that progesterone could be the 17 alpha hydroxy derivatives, as well as some are the 19 nor testosterone derivatives, isn't it? Okay, we have also seen some of the biological activities of the progesterone. Very important aspect of progesterone is the maintenance of the pregnancy, isn't it? That is very important role of the progesterone, and the maintenance of the menstrual cycle, isn't it? So when the concentration of progesterone is going to get end, so then the menstrual cycle is going to get begin. But when the concentration is more, then at that time the pregnancy is going to get maintained. So it is a very important role of the progesterone that we have seen. Then we have seen the how the progesterone is undergoing the metabolism. I told you this thing again and again, that why we have to study the metabolism, because by studying the metabolism we come to know that how this drug is undergoing the deactivation, pharmacological deactivation especially, isn't it? Because most of these hormones, they are undergoing the metabolism very fast, isn't it? And if we want to use it for certain disease or disorder, first we need to limit its metabolism. So we know that at 5 beta, at 5th position, 3rd position and 20th position, the progesterone molecule is undergoing the metabolism to form the inactive derivative, isn't it? So now let us begin with the structure activity relationship studies of the progesterone. Okay, so now we are going to discuss this SAR, especially by taking into consideration how we can increase the activity of the progesterone, isn't it? Because we know that it is easily undergoing the metabolism using the different enzymes. So as I told you before, that the two important derivatives of the progesterones are the 17 alpha hydroxyprogesterone and the 19 nortestosterone. These are the two important structural derivatives of the progesterone. So while discussing the SAR, first I am going to tell you the SAR of 17 alpha hydroxy progesterone derivatives, isn't it? So let's start with this first type, 17 alpha hydroxy progesterone, isn't it? So the first point, just look at your and concentrate on your screen. On your screen I have drawn the structure of the progesterone first, isn't it? So progesterone contains a total 21 carbon atom. At 17th position there is C double bond OCH3. that is the acetyl group. 18 and 19, they are substituted with the methyl. Third position is the keto, and the double bond is present between carbon atom 4 and 5. So this is the structure of the progesterone. Okay. Now at this point of time, I may believe that you know the biological action of progesterone, and you know the structure of progesterone. You know how it has been biosynthesized, isn't it? So by taking this thing into mind, let us start the SAR points of 17 alpha hydroxyprogesterone. Okay. So now first point, 17 alpha hydroxyprogesterone are stable metabolically, isn't it? So if we are going to substitute at 17 position the alpha hydroxy group, then it will become metabolically stable, isn't it? Okay. So this is the first criteria, how we can make it metabolically stable. Look at the second point. The activity of these derivatives can be enhanced by addition of double bond or unsaturation at 6th and 7th position, isn't it? As well as by introducing the methyl group at 11th position, isn't it? So this is with respect to the activity, isn't it? So in such kind of the derivatives, 17 alpha hydroxy derivatives, the activity is enhanced by unsaturation at 6, 7. So you look at your screen. So dihydrogestrone is one of the example wherein I have shown over there the 6th and 7th position, the double bond is there, isn't it? Okay. So this double bond we are going to offer such kind of the activity advantages. Then look at the third point. Substitution of fluoro group at 21th position, isn't it, prevents the hydroxylation and make it orally active progesterone, isn't it? So that look at the 21st position. You can look at any structure. 21st position is the out of the ring, isn't it? So at 20th position, if you are going to substitute the fluorine, isn't it? So it prevents the hydroxylation and make it orally active progesterone. Okay. Next, the inversion of configuration at 10th and 19th, isn't it? 10th and 19th position, it is going to give the orally active derivative. So one of the derivative is the, again the same example, dihydrogestrone, isn't it? Look at the 19th position. I have especially make it in a red color, isn't it? So at that point, instead of previous conformation, the conformation is going to get changed over here, isn't it? So especially at 10th position, we have made the inversion of configuration, isn't it? Inversion of configuration. So that has led to the orally active derivative, isn't it? Example is the dihydrogestrone. So this example you can quote in your SR point because it is having the 2 points covered, 6th and 7th position double bond, and at 10th and 19th there is the inversion of configuration is there, which is going to increase the oral effectiveness, isn't it? Okay. So now let us now focus on to the fifth point. The long duration of action is seen with the 16 alpha 17 alpha dihydroxyprogesterone acetophenide. Now look at the structure. 16 alpha, okay, look at this 16 dotted bond, alpha bond, 17 the alpha bond, 16 alpha 17 alpha dihydroxyprogesterone acetophenide. Okay, so it is a very good progesterone derivative, isn't it, which is having a long duration of action, isn't it, because it is metabolically stable. It is a metabolically stable. So it is devoid of also the androgenic and estrogenic activity. So it is a purely reflecting the progesterone like activity only, isn't it, as it is devoid of androgenic and the estrogenic activity. And this drug we need to administer parenterally only. Okay, so this is the example from the progesterone class. Now the next point, or the next point into the SAR of the progesterone. So now let us make the modification at the 19th position. Okay, that means if I am going to remove the 19th methyl with the hydrogen, look at the slide. Okay, look at the structure on the slide at the top right corner. So 19 nor means I am going to remove the 19 methyl group, replacing it with the hydrogen. So now such kind of this structure is called as 19 nor. Next one is the testosterone. Why testosterone? Because from 17th position we have removed that acetyl and we have substituted the OH. So the structure is similar to the testosterone, isn't it? So it is called as 19 nor testosterone derivative of progesterone, isn't it? Now if I am going to make certain modification on such kind of progesterone derivative, then what are the effect on the activity, isn't it? So let us discuss this derivative of progesterone for SAR. So let's look at the first point. So now introduction of alkyl group at C17 blocks the oxidation of 19 nor testosterone and increases the progesterone activity, isn't it? So if we are going to substitute the alkyl at C17, isn't it? Okay, then definitely the progesterone like activity is going to get increased. Okay, second number point, increasing the electron density at C17, that means you are going to add the alkyl group, isn't it? That means C triple bond C, that is going to decrease the anabolic activity and promote good progesterone activity, isn't it? Example is the ethisterone. Okay, look at the structure, this over here. Okay, below structure, the ethisterone at 17th position, electron density has been increased, isn't it? That is going to give us a very good progesterone activity, and that also decrease the anabolic activity, isn't it? Let us look at the third number point. The third point, the 19 nor derivatives further decreases its androgenic activity, isn't it? Now let us compare the structure of ethisterone and norethiosterone, isn't it? In the ethisterone, what we are having, alkyl group over here, isn't it? 19. Okay, if I am going to remove that alkyl group, I will get norethiosterone. Okay, so 19 nor derivative further decreases the androgenic activity. Example is the norethiosterone. Okay, so if you are going to observe the structures in the progesterone, a very minute difference is there in between these structures. Let us look at the last 2 points in the SAR of the progesterone. The more effective progestins are made by adding one more methyl group at carbon number 18. Okay, carbon number 18. Example is norgestrel. Okay, look at the C18 position. I have given the different color, that is the red color for the 18 number carbon. At 18 number carbon, if you are going to increase the chain length by single carbon, that means instead of methyl there is ethyl. Then if it become the ethyl, then it will become very effective progestin. Isn't it? Example is the norgestrel. Now look at the next point, the last point of the SR of the progesterone. So the 11 beta substituents, okay, 11 beta substituents, it binds better with progestin receptors. Okay, look at this structure, desogestrel. Okay, desogestrel. Now these desogestrel, it is having the, what you can say, the alkene substituent at 11th position. Isn't it? At 11th position. So what is going to get happen is that it is going to make that ring more rigid, isn't it? And therefore what we can say, there is a better binding of this desogestrel with the progesterone receptor. Okay, so these are the SAR points of the progesterone derivative. Okay, I have tried to make this topic as simple as possible. So if you just going to review the SAR of progesterone, we have discussed it into the two parts. It is first part is for the 17-alpha hydroxyprogesterone and the second part is for the 19-nor testosterone derivatives, isn't it? So these are some of the SAR points of the progesterone, and at this point of time we are ending with the progesterone. Okay, now another topic that is linked with this progesterone is the oral contraceptive, and in our example in our syllabus we are having the three examples of these oral contraceptives. So these examples are the mifepristone, then norgestrel, the derivative that at present we have just discussed in the SAR, norgestrel and levonorgestrel, isn't it? So these three examples are there in your syllabus as far as your syllabus is concerned, isn't it? So these oral contraceptives. Okay, so try to understand the logic behind the use of oral contraceptives, isn't it? So now the overpopulation of the any nation can create the burden on the administration, isn't it? So now how to control this population, isn't it? So one of the way is the use of the oral contraceptives, isn't it? So if these oral contraceptives have been used in a proper way, in a judgmental way, then definitely it is going to stop the unwanted birth, isn't it? And if the family is going to stop the unwanted birth, definitely the burden on that family is going to get reduced, and ultimately the what you can say that is going to help that family to survive better, isn't it? So now by taking this thing into the mind, during the year 1950 to 1960 there was tremendous evolution of oral contraceptives, isn't it? So basically these are used for the family planning purpose. Also these agents can be used for termination of the pregnancy, unwanted pregnancy, isn't it? So that is the main uses of these oral contraceptive. So let us look at the history point. The first orally active progestin contraceptive was ethisterone, isn't it? Ethisterone, that we just seen the structure of the ethisterone, isn't it? So ethisterone was the first oral contraceptive which is a progesterone derivative that was utilized first, isn't it? Then after that a combination anti-fertility drugs were came into the picture. For example, the norethinodrel, which is a progesterone derivative, and the mestranol. We have studied this drug, mestranol. It is the estrogen, isn't it? So now these are the anti-fertility drug, norethinodrel and mestranol, isn't it? So the combination therapy was utilized over there to act as a anti-fertility agent, isn't it? So now up to this point we come to know that yes, oral contraceptive can be used for the family planning. It can be used for termination of the pregnancy. That is the main use, isn't it? So now let us look at the examples given in our syllabus. So example given are the mifepristone. Look at the structure below, mifepristone. So it is a progesterone derivative, mifepristone. Look at the structure. It is the what you can say the 19-nor derivative of the progesterone. It acts as a progesterone blocker by the way of competitive antagonism mechanism, isn't it? So it is not allowing the progesterone to act on its side. Instead of that, it is going to get bind at the progesterone receptor. It is administered as a post-coital agent to terminate the pregnancy. Okay, so this drug is not used alone. This mifepristone is used along with one of the prostaglandin derivative called as the misoprostol. So the combination of mifepristone and misoprostol is used to terminate the pregnancy, isn't it? So by this way, it is going to act as the oral contraceptive agent, isn't it? Okay. So look at its structure. At 11th position, the resubstitution of the phenyl ring is there, and NN dimethyl group is also there on this ring, isn't it? Okay. So this is the mifepristone. Next examples in the oral contraceptives are norgestrel and levonorgestrel. Now look at first their structures. The difference that you can easily observe is the arrangement of the hydroxyl group at C17. In norgestrel, the orientation of OH is the alpha, and in levonorgestrel, the orientation of hydroxyl group is the beta. That is the only difference, isn't it? Okay. So now these agents, they are mainly used in the intrauterine devices, in the implants. Okay. So it is also used. It is also the progesterone derivative, which is an emergency contraceptive and used in most of the IUDs, intrauterine devices. It is a birth control product, emergency birth control product, isn't it? So only these three examples are there in our syllabus. So the first example that we have seen was the mifepristone, and the remaining examples are the norgestrel and the levonorgestrel, isn't it? So now with this, I'm going to end my video presentation. In the interaction, we will discuss this thing in more details. Okay. Thanks for your patience listening.